Asics Cumulus 27 in the house for testing at the Mint Hill Shoe Market. And it's funny because I've never tested a Cumulus, so this will be the first. Now, if you are interested in buying a new daily trainer, a new everyday running shoe, make sure you're on the Supwell app, because a few things. First, if you don't know what shoe to get, you can post a question and the community will help you out. We had someone last week, Leslie, who was looking for a new race shoe, and she got a ton of answers when she posted, hey, I'm looking for a new race shoe, I train in this, my preferences are this. Second, there's a marketplace right there. So if you're a size 8 men's, you can go look at the size 8 men's daily trainers and you can get something for way below what this is. I see daily trainers going up every day for $50, $60, $70. And again, you can source and ask questions. You could even say, should I get this one or this one, to the community? And they'll give you an answer. And then third, did I say there were 2 reasons? Because there's 3 reasons. Third, we have a discount code for Running Warehouse. So if you want to get a new shoe, but have it be a lower price, right? You don't want to get it at the marketplace, you can get it through Running Warehouse. Use my discount code that takes 10% off of all the clearance shoes, so you can get a shoe like the Nike Invincible 3 for about $115. So lots of great reasons. Oh, should I give you a 4th reason? Best gosh dang hobby jogger community out there. It's just a bunch of people supporting each other and getting after it. So make sure you're on the Supwell app. I appreciate you. Enjoy today's video. Another day, another box, bro. Get into it, let's go. Oh, this lighting is terrible. Bang, that's what I'm talking about, man. Getting these packages in, open them up, bringing the insights on the products to the people. Asics Gel-Cumulus 27. Another one, another Asics. Another Asics in the house. You know what the funny thing is, though? So we got the Gel-Cumulus 27 here. And let me bring out all the Asics shoes. Let me bring out all the Asics shoes that I've tried recently. Okay, S4 Plus, hold on. This is going to be a scavenger hunt around the office here. It's so packed right now with shoes. This is all... Oh, no, I forgot the main one. Okay, hold on. So we have the S4 Plus, the Magic Speed 4. Those are the speed training shoes. We have the top tier road daily trainer or long distance training shoe, the Super Blast 2. All the way over here on the more, let's just call it classic side, we have the GT 2013. We have, going back over here, exciting but comfort oriented everyday shoe, Glide Ride Max. We have the stalwart, the Max Cushion Whale, the Nimbus 27. This is actually my 4th Nimbus, which is why it's so crazy I've never tried a Cumulus, because I did Nimbus 25, 26, 27, and the Mirai. I've been enjoying this. And somebody asked me recently, because we did an Asics rotation on Instagram, make sure you follow the Instagram, at Supwell Running. They asked me why I didn't include the Nimbus, because I included the Glide Ride Max. They're both solid. I have a hard time figuring out what the differences are between these. I think the Glide Ride Max actually might be softer, and the Nimbus might be slightly firmer. I don't know. They're both good. I'm going to switch over to getting more miles in the Nimbus. Maybe I'll even get my afternoon running that today. But last shoe I should bring over, I left it over there. Bang. And look at that. We always talk about these brands' lineups being crowded. Their trading shoe lineup is so crowded. The S4 Plus is literally off the screen here. And people ask, why don't they bring this to the U.S.? Which I agree. They should bring it to the U.S. It's a great shoe. But this is why. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shoes and 7 if you take the Cumulus already in their core training lineup in the U.S. Plus, they probably have 1 or 2 others that I'm not even remembering right now. But looking at all of these shoes here, I've enjoyed basically all of them for what they are. The Super Blast is not my personal favorite, especially at $200 with the other options there, but a lot of people in the hobby jogger community love this thing, especially bigger runners or people looking for that faster platform. I think it's more suited to 4-foot strikers. I don't know, but a lot of people love the Super Blast. Magic Speed is a great speed training shoe. This made my top 5 list of speed training shoes last year. Just talked about the Glide Ride Max and Nimbus. Both are super comfortable, higher stack options for longer miles or just getting out there walking in the case of the Nimbus. Nova Blast 5, this is my top pick for a daily trainer
right now. And then this is a really good stability shoe, the GT 2013, a classic shoe. I'm not going to be reaching for it a bunch, but for someone who wants a classic, supportive, firmer option is great. So Asics is a brand top to bottom of the lineup. They have a lot of solid shoes. I'm not going to say they don't make bad shoes because, boy, I have been burnt before. But I wanted to show you the wide array of options we have. So with that, what the heck is the Cumulus? What could it potentially be offering? What could it potentially be offering that none of these shoes here have? That is a good question. That is a really good question. So this thing, let's open it up and then I can tell you what it's designed to do. Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. Ooh, I like it. It reminds me of the new Supwell branding that's launching. If you've seen the Instagram, and we're bringing some of it to the website, supwell.io. We got the yellows and the browns. It's cool. It's a different type of colorway. I usually would go for the all white. I decided not to go for the all white just to switch it up. It's nice. This is clean. I like it, especially with a pair of black joggers and a hoodie. It's nice. It's different, but it's cool. But yeah, this is their everyday running shoe that is designed to be versatile. It's the option you get if you're just looking for a sneaker. Now, $140, same price as these other two shoes here. Difference between the Cumulus and these guys, Novablast is going to be the fast option. This is the more fun option. And if we go like from here to here, this is how it would be. Or I guess let's go from here to here, left to right. The most traditional, the firmest, the most stable and structured would be the Asics GT 2013. In the middle, you have the Cumulus. Still is comfortable, still is stable. It's not going to be as soft and bouncy as some of the other everyday shoes on the market, and that's the role that the Novablast 5 plays. This is the more fun, youthful choice. That's really it. The Cumulus 27, and again, just think about the names, right? Cumulus 27. This is on the 27th iteration. They don't want to mess it up. They want to offer something that is traditional, more traditional than what's in the Novablast, meaning decent stability, firmer foam, not as high cushion, just not as potentially soft and mushy as the Novablast. And then with the Novablast line, they can experiment and add fun. So Cumulus 27, this is a very minor update to the 26. The big change was actually on the 25. They softened it up. They added a bunch more foam. In the 26, they also did another big change where they did away with the rubber. You now have a rubberized EVA on the bottom, and you have the FF Blast Plus in the middle. So that's also the different thing between the Cumulus and the Novablast in these generations. They're saying it is FF Blast Plus in here. Let me give it a push test. It feels right in that not too soft, not too firm range. So this is the FF Blast Plus. The Novablast 5 is FF Blast Max. Nimbus here also ostensibly says FF Blast Plus, but this thing feels way softer. So differences between these two: Cumulus is the normal everyday shoe, $140. It's not as tall. It doesn't have as much stack. Nimbus is all about comfort. These $140 simple shoes like the Saucony Rides, Nike Pegasus, Brooks Ghost, they're designed to do anything you might be able to do with the shoe. This is the type of shoe you get if you want something to run in and to go to the gym. Versus the Nimbus, that would not be my recommendation if you're going to be doing CrossFit or doing a bunch of heavy squats. And people do buy these types of sneakers to do those things. So that's the role that the Cumulus 27 plays in the Asics lineup. So slightly firmer midsole foam here, moderate stack, full length rubberized EVA on the bottom, no rubber. That's going to be an interesting choice here. We look like we have a nice comfort oriented upper, very similar tongue actually to what is on the Novablast. That's my one surprise so far with this. I would have thought they would have done a more padded tongue, like what we have on the Nimbus, or let's see, the GT. No, the GT has the same tongue. So I guess Asics just doesn't do padded tongues on any of their shoes really, because this is a thin tongue. But upper looks very standard. It's some sort of a, what do you call these, engineered mesh with the logo overlays. It's simple. They don't have a ton of extra ornamentation on here. They've kept it fairly streamlined. Let's see. Insole is okay. Overall, it seems like a sneaker that you can run in. And brands typically will have one of these in their lineup. Some of them are good, some of them aren't. My criteria is is this something I could feel comfortable to recommending to someone who just wants a shoe? Is it going to be good for 30-minute runs? Is it decently comfortable? So far, holding this in my hands, there's no gimmicks. It looks good. It's perfectly inoffensive. And if that's what this thing can do, then it's going to be a solid shoe. I always like to remember the first question I ask in my post-run review is, what is the intended purpose of the shoe? And how did it do versus that? The intended purpose of this is not to be a shoe that I take out for a 20-mile long run with 10 miles of marathon pace. It's the type of shoe where if I want to do an 8-mile morning run or go to the gym or go to the grocery store, it can do that and look fairly decent as well. So with that, let's get the specs of this. Let's throw it through the lab. My number one question today is, can this dethrone the Saucony Ride and become the new most normal shoe of 2025? I don't think it can because it doesn't have rubber. So that immediately takes it out of the most normal shoe category, because if you put into an AI, design me the most average or normal shoe, it would spit out a shoe with rubber. It would. All right, 283 grams in the Gel-Cumulus 27. That's solid. That's decently lightweight for what it is. For some context here, let's pop on the Nova Blast 5. This thing is 271 grams, so about 10 grams heavier than a fast, fun, peppy shoe like the Nova Blast 5. The thing is, we'll have to put this in the Stackerator 5000 and see how much stack that has, but that's not bad. Let's get a QA check here too. And then I do want to pull the Saucony Ride because, again, I want to see, is it as normal as the Saucony Ride? But we had 283 on the right side and 278.5 on the left. So even lighter. That's not great QA. That is slightly outside, about 2%. That's slightly more variance between the shoes than I typically like to see, but it's okay. It's not a huge deal. Probably won't affect the run that much. Let me go grab the Ride 18. So Saucony Ride 18, look at that. It's the same exact weight. It came in at 280. It's saying 279.5 right now. So look at that. Very similar specs to the Ride 18. Then the other two options that I will put these up against in the category, slightly more cushioned, the New Balance 880 V15. And this thing comes in at 306 grams. That's because it has more stack in it, but also a very normal feeling shoe. Very comfortable, nice padding. There's nothing weird about it. And that's what this category is all about. Nothing weird, just comfort and simplicity. And then the last one I'll put in here, a new entrant, a shoe that I haven't been enjoying a lot, actually. And I don't know if I came across too negative in the first few videos I did. I don't think so. It's just them plastering ZoomX here and then it feeling nothing like ZoomX does bother me. But the actual ride of this is simple. And if you are a bigger runner or you like more support or you just want a more cushioned feel but still have it feel normal and you don't want to rock a Brooks Glycerin 21, the 22 is absolutely terrible. Don't buy that shoe. That's what the Nike Vomero 18 is great for. So it is the heaviest out of all these. The Ride and the Cumulus were down at 280. The New Balance was at 300 and this is at 325. So much heavier, but it still has that normal feel and it offers more cushion and protection than at least a shoe like the Saucony Ride. We'll have to see how much stack the Cumulus has. So decently lightweight. Again, this is shaping up to be a solid shoe on paper. We got to put it in the Stackerator 5000 though. I heard they want to hear me spit bars on the stack check beat. Stack check. My next check is bigger than my last check. Stack check. The midsole's looking like a giraffe's neck. That's all I have for you today. We'll keep it going. We'll keep building. We'll keep building our stack check. I'll hit him with the full 16. Measuring in the Cumulus 27. Left side here, 39. Look at that, 39.2 millimeters. That's a lot taller than I expected. We had the Saucony Ride 18 out here yesterday. I think this thing came in at 34 and a half. Let me throw it in real quick just to test it. I also do test these at multiple points throughout their life, so I'll test them out of the box, then I'll test them once with some miles. Yeah, the Ride 18 is coming in just around 34. Let's throw the right side of the Cumulus in here. And again, we did have some variation. All right, right side, Cumulus, stack check. Ooh, 41.2. So this is the new part of QA I'm doing with these shoes. Testing stack on both sides. And both oh gosh, sorry, that got hit on the way up. But both yesterday and today, we've seen some variation between the two sides. Okay, no, we didn't. Right side coming in at 38.3. So fairly similar between the two sides. Few millimeters taller than our most normal shoe so far. Saucony Ride 18, 34.5. The Nova Blast 5, this thing also comes in around 34.5 or 35, 36, that 34 to 6 range, now that it has some miles in it. So fairly similar stack height to the other options here. If we take a look at the Vomero 18, I have 20 miles on this now. I actually haven't taken a stack check of this with 20 miles. So let's see. The Air Monarch V2. Still up above 40. So again, you're getting more cushion in that Nike. Let's see with the Vomero, the more cushioned option here too. And the Cumulus likely will compress over time. Man, would you look at that? The 880 is already compressed down. I think I might have taken a measurement that said similar a few weeks ago too. So after a few, I think 16 to 20 miles of running on this guy, it's already bopped down a few millimeters here. So you can see the effect of running in these shoes over time. You're actually popping bubbles. You're popping the tiny bubbles in the midsole. That's what breaking in is, and that's what happens to the compounds in here. You pop the air bubbles in it over time so it compresses down. We'll see how this thing does after a few. I was going to say after a few runs. First, let's just see how it is after one run to see if it's even an option that we consider putting through a few runs. Dude, I've been listening to Payroll and Cardo, switching it up. I listen to a lot of Larry June, but I think Payroll is super underrated. Yeah, Another Day, Another Dollar from 2021 by Cardo and Payroll. If you want some good vibes to just grind, I've been uploading a lot more shoes to the database, so I always like to have good tunes on when I'm doing that because I got to download pictures, put in the specs. And yesterday we were rocking with the Payroll, so go check it out if you want some good grind music. Yeah, man, every brand has one of these normal shoes. And I know I'm Max Cushion gang. I do believe every runner should have a simple shoe in their rotation. So if you're having a Mag Max, have something simple too. Or, and this is something I've talked about a lot in the past too, you don't even need to have it in the rotation, but if you like having one shoe at a time, just rotate next time. Next time, if you've been running the Mag Max, just get something different that will place different stress on different muscles. So whether that's a different type of foam that's more squishy, less squishy, lower stack, lower drop, it's just good to switch it up because it puts different stress on different muscles. So lacing this thing up here, this is way firmer than I thought on step-in. Also, the upper feels less comfortable than I would expect. I love when I put on one of these shoes and I just say, it just fits perfectly. This is okay. I can tell this upper will be fine once we start getting going here. Probably could use some break-in. But if I tried this on in the store, I'd probably say, let me try something else on too. It's not blowing me away with that cozy, comfortable feeling. It's not even about softness. It's just about cradling the foot right. It's just okay. But let's do a walk test here. It's a sneaker. This is a sneaker, man.
Woohoo! Whoa, buddy, do we have a sneaker here today? Yeah, this is a good old shoe. This is a good old running shoe. This really just feels like a running shoe. This is so similar to the Ride 18. The step-in on that was that I like that better than this, but this feels like a really comfortable shoe. The insole actually is surprisingly good in here. I also have a really comfortable pair of socks on. I have the Darn Tough socks on. Shout out to my mom for getting me these. I've been loving these. Probably maybe even more than features, potentially. I think more comfortable than features. They're up there with OS first, but this is a comfortable shoe. I could see a lot of people enjoying this for walking. If you do the walk test around the running store, you might end up picking this up. Also, the fit is nice. So again, the upper material, what we have on the Nimbus, that upper is way better than this. But again, that is supposed to be the more quote-unquote premium shoe. That's $25 more expensive than this. So this upper feels, can you hear that? It's scratchier. It's not as nice putting it on. It's okay. Anytime I put the Nimbus on, and it's not just about the softness of the foam, but anytime I put that upper on, even in the 26, which had the firmer midsole, it's just such a nice lace-up experience. Again, this is okay, but the fit is perfect. All of Asics shoes tend to fit me really well in 10.5. At least their training shoes do. They fit me well in 10.5. The width of the toe box is fine. If you have a wider foot, I would probably go with the wide. I'm sure they have this in wide. I haven't checked, but I'm sure. Then also, by the way, I forgot to mention, this does have the gel unit in the heel, similar to the Nimbus. I can't feel anything different. It just feels like a slightly firmer foam underfoot. So with that, let's get some miles in this thing. I'm excited to see if it can be a solid daily trainer. We're going to go 10 miles this morning, normal everyday run. Just getting some aerobic volume in here. Let's do it. Yeah, quick fit check before we go here. We went full murder pack again. Black hat, black hobby jogger quarter zip. And I did learn yesterday, I've been telling you guys about this. Unfortunately, this thing is now discontinued forever. This Champion quarter zip. So that's a bummer. I actually was going to order more for myself, but I forgot to do that. And then yeah, black joggers. These are the Versed joggers. I like them. They're nice and lightweight. The thing is, down here, they are not really, they're not capris, but they're not really pants either. Yeah, also I have the GoPro on auto lock the horizon, so it keeps switching. But yeah, I'm 6'2". These pants are a struggle out here. I do like the material though. They're nice and lightweight, nice and stretchy. I actually got them, funny enough, I think I got them the same day I got the Nimbus 27 at Dick's, but I think the all black matches these shoes nicely. Something different. This colorway is just something different. It's nice. All right, let's do this thing. Ah, yeah, this is good, man. I'm not even down the driveway. All right, way early overreaction here, 30 seconds in. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Now, I've run in all those other Asics shoes, so I had a pretty good idea of how these would feel, and it matches exactly in my mind what I was hoping the best version of these could be, which is smooth, not too soft, but does have some give to the foam, decent bounce and peppiness out of the front, and a really nice roll through. And with that gel unit in the heel, I can feel as I land more back there, some good impact absorption. When I land flat-footed or at the front, it's good bounce. So seems like a shoe that will let us do the job of running while offering good comfort. It's basically a perfect shoe. This is a perfect $140 daily trainer. So in terms of this foam here, it actually reminds me a lot of the Nimbus 26, which I love too. Some people thought it was too firm. compared to what they expect out of a Nimbus. But in here, man, it's perfect. This foam is perfectly tuned for what this shoe is. And I love when these shoes are well calibrated for their purpose. It's just gonna get out of the way, let me run. There's not a lot of ground feel, but there still is flexibility and control. It's not mushy, but it's not hard like yesterday's shoe, the Surfer. Yeah, this is perfect for what this shoe is. Oh man, quarter zip's coming off already. This is a hard time of year in the spring because it was in the 30s and it still is. Actually, no, I think I'm just gonna leave it unzipped. It's hard. Now I'm turning the corner, the wind is picking up. It's hard to dress right now because the high today is probably gonna be in the 60s. So depending what time we start our run, it could either be 35 or 55. Mile 1, 7:18. This shoe is like some 70s soul music. You just put it on in the background. It's smooth. Go about your day. Give you some good vibes. It's not gonna take you out of your zone, but it'll have you feeling good. It's like Al Green. You know, that's why I like music like Larry June, Currency, and Payroll so much. You just put it on, motivates you to get stuff done. It's not screaming in your face. That's what this shoe is. It's the lifestyle rap or soul music of running shoes. All right, it's coming off. Quarter zip is coming off. I overdressed. Do they sell Asics in Switzerland? They have to, right? It's one of the biggest sportswear brands in the world. If they do, we got to get somebody at On to buy a pair of these. This is how you do an entry-level daily trainer. I have no idea what they're getting up to over there at the On HQ, but that thing was not good yesterday. Mile 2, 7:12 pace. One thing I should note here, between mile 2 and 3, this is definitely on the firmer side. Much firmer than the Nova Blast 5, way firmer than the Nimbus. Not as firm as the GT, but it is noticeably firm. Probably the one downside as I'm getting deeper into this run, or a potential downside for some people. So what I'm noticing here, just hit mile 4. I came out of the gates kind of hot this morning, 7:10, 7:15. It feels best at those paces. As I slow it down, 7:20, not as good. Feels better with more force, which is typical of a firmer shoe. These are the types of shoes, the ones in this firmness range. When I say it's firm, somebody always comments, it's not firm. Are you crazy? It's the softest shoe I've ever tried. And yeah, it is gonna feel soft compared to a Jordan or a winter boot. But compared to the soft running foams that I've tested, it's on the firmer side. It's not a brick at all. Great comfort, but it's not a Nova Blast 5 or a Nimbus. For the people that say the Nova Blast 5 is too soft, which was not my experience at all, this is the one to get. Halfway through, 706 pace. This is really solid. This is one of those shoes where if you don't know what to get, you end up with this, you'll be happy. Just a really solid daily trainer. I could throw this in a suitcase. If I were traveling for a week, I could throw this in a suitcase with a speed shoe and maybe a max cushion shoe and be all set. Or I could even just take this if I were just getting some mileage. This feels like it would be awesome on the treadmill too. Let's stay together. It's the Al Green of running shoes. Don't look at the man, the happy the sad. Mile 6, 6:58. Just cruising. Just cruising. You know what this is, man? This is the Toyota RAV4. Reliable, simple, not big, but comfortable. You can be efficient in it, gets the job done. Most people are gonna buy, if they want something cool, the Nova Blast 5. Right, and that would be something like the 4Runner or the Super Blast. They actually called the Super Blast the 4Runner. But this is a nice, simple shoe. This is a winner for what it is. Man, I don't know if it's been just this time of year, but the wind lately has been absolutely brutal. I just came back into the neighborhood, but out on the main road, it was destroying me. Yeah, we have about a mile and a half left. These are holding up well. Not great for running head first into the wind, but for everything else, they're solid. I'm gonna start checking the wind reports and just bringing out the Carbon County shoes anytime it's windy. Hey, you already know what it is, man. Man, I am thrilled to report this is on the Clifton Nike Vomero Ghost Max end of the spectrum. Not the Cloud Surfer Glycerin end of the spectrum. 10 miles, 15 hundredths, 1 hour, 13 minutes, 27 seconds, 7:14 pace. I haven't brought out the half marathon 10 miler theory in a while. My theory is that an everyday 10 miler or relaxed 10 miler, you just go out for a 10-mile run without any intention of pushing the pace, not a recovery run, just go out there and run 10 miles. My theory is that that will suggest your half marathon time. It works for probably not elites and probably not if you're a brand new runner, but for 60% of people, if you're running 4, 5, 6 times a week, you can run 10 miles comfortably. That's my thought. So 1:13:27 is funny because I was actually thinking if I trained for another half marathon, I've been thinking of jumping into half marathon build as my next goal. My goal would be 1:14, and look at that, 1:13:27. So that's my theory. But yeah, dude, this is a really solid shoe. Not a crazy banger, but one of these shoes that's just going to get the job done, and I love stumbling across these
And not every brand gets this formula right, but this is dialed perfectly. The upper fits well. You can already see this foam is getting some nice break-in lines. It's comfortable, smooth. We'll have to see how this outsole holds up, but after one run, I'm happy with this. I'm happy to report Asics did not mess up the Cumulus.
What the doctor ordered, man. Asics Gel-Cumulus 27. Yesterday I ran in one of the worst shoes I've ever tried, and I opened up that video yesterday talking about how On is underrated, overhated, and how I appreciated what they did for me early in my running journey with the Cloud Stratus and the Cloud Monster, and then that Cloud Surfer 2 came through here and just completely obliterated everything good I said about them. And the reason I'm bringing this up today, Cloud Surfer 2, $160, just forget about the price. It's designed to be a basic entry-level shoe where if someone walks into a running store with the intention of spending $150 roughly on a nice shoe, something that in their head is nice, feels comfortable, feels well put together, is gonna give them confidence to up their walking or up their running, maybe take on a 5K program or a 10K program, something that will just get the job done. They don't have to worry about it. They can use one shoe for everything. That's what the Cloud Surfer 2 is supposed to be, and there were just so many issues with it. And I've been surprised this year at how many brands are changing their major franchises, and not for the best, but there still are some really quality shoes in that category that I've been happy with and impressed with recently. Vomero 18, that's a really good one. Now, it threw some of us off the scent because it had ZoomX, and I think a lot of us thought it was going to be something it's not. We'll have to stay tuned for the Vomero Plus and the Vomero Premium. But there's still a lot of great shoes that are simple. Ghost Max 2, Hoka Skyflow, and this is another one. Asics Gel-Cumulus 27. So the formula here is really similar to what was in the last generation. You have a gel unit in the heel, you have a full-length top layer of the FF Blast Plus, and then a bottom layer of a firmer foam and EVA. The odd thing is with this type of a shoe, it's supposed to be designed for durability and versatility, and they don't have any rubber on it. We'll have to see how it goes. It reminds me of the Hoka Mach 5, not the ride experience, but very similar thing. We have that exposed foam outsole, and I got 300 miles out of that shoe. So these things typically, especially if you look at how thick it is, typically they'll last for a while, and even if you wear it down, the ride experience probably won't change all that much. So got a 10 miler out of the box here. Let's throw it up. Cruising at around a 705, 710, 720. I was up and down a bit, just let the pace oscillate with the hills and with the wind. It was really windy today. I don't even know, you could probably hear it out here too. It's been really windy recently, but this was a solid tool for the job. It has just enough comfort. The foam has the right amount of impact absorption, and it's not super bouncy. And this is the confusing thing with FF Blast Plus. It means so many different things depending on what Asics shoe it's in. For this, it's smooth comfort, and that's a lot of what these Asics shoes have been with the FF Blast Plus. Comfortable, good impact absorption, and some slight bounce. Now, the Asics Nova Blast 4 also had the FF Blast Plus. The difference between the 4 and this is actually what makes this such a good shoe for what it is. The 4 had that disjointed geometry, right? Nova Blast 4, where the heel had that bump out, that aggressive back piece. The 5 still has it, but it's a softer foam, so it's not as noticeable. And then in the middle, it indented, it went up. And then in the front, you had the launch pad. So it had this pyramid in the middle, a pyramid of air, so that there was an indent. And at some paces and for some foot strikes, the Nova Blast 4 had this choppy feel. This is extremely smooth. There's no choppiness to it. I could run with the heel strike, a midfoot strike, a forefoot strike, and it felt comfortable. That gel unit in the heel has good impact absorption, and I felt as I was going down hills, it felt even better. So if you're bigger than I am or run with more force than I am, this will feel better. Now, downsides to it, as I got past an hour, as I got to the 8-mile mark and beyond, especially I was running into the wind here, I was thinking, man, this isn't as peppy or as cushioned as I would prefer. But then I started coming back into the neighborhood without the wind and going down the hill, and it felt fine. Point being, this is most certainly not a Nova Blast or a Nimbus, and Asics already has those shoes. They have that bouncy everyday option, and they have the cushioned, the premium option in the Nimbus. This is the one that you get if you want something simple to walk in, to run in, and for everyday miles. So for me personally, I liked it for what it is. It's a nice breath of fresh air. That's hard to say. It's a nice breath of fresh air. It's like spring coming out of winter. Just a simple shoe to get it done. So let's close it out here with our 3 questions that we always answer when we do these first run reviews. First, how does this compare to its intended purpose? So this is designed to be a no frills shoe. And with that, I told you, I was terrified because a lot of these brands are switching up the formula and going off script, but this does a really nice job with that no frills feel. The other thing I look for in this category is just no weirdness. This accomplishes it with the upper. I really wish they put the Nimbus upper on it. That would have taken this to the next level. If they put the Nimbus upper on it and made the midsole 3% softer and 3% bouncier, this could be even better, but that's probably a $150 shoe and just would steal too much share from the Nova Blast. But for what it is, it fits really nicely. I also look for this category, is it going to fit a wide variety of runners, of foot shapes? This is a very normal feeling upper. It's not gonna have any pinching, there's no hot spots, and it should fit your foot well. They also will offer this in a wide. There's good padding around the back. There's one of these plastic heel clips. It holds your foot in place. Overall, just feels normal. It feels normal. Some people said the Ghost Max was too wide. That's another normal shoe. Some people said the Skyflow was too narrow. This is just right. Now, those shoes have, especially in the Ghost Max, more comfort in the upper, and the Skyflow might even have more of an exciting foam, maybe bouncier. But this, dead center of the middle, right? Very similar to the Saucony Ride, which brings me to question number 2. How does this compare to the other shoes in the category? So at $140, price the same as the Saucony Ride, price the same as the Nike Pegasus, price the same as the New Balance 880. So compared to the Ride, and that is a very close comparison. I would say this has more smoothness to it, and the Ride has more pep or more bounce with that Power Run Plus. Both are in the center of this not too soft, not too firm. The Ride I felt was starting to soften up some, whereas this doesn't seem like it's gonna soften up a whole lot. Now, this does have more of a rocker than the Ride, so again, more of that smooth feel, more of that smooth gliding feel, and especially without the rubber. The Saucony Ride had a very thick, dense layer of rubber on the outside, so that might be a better winter shoe. I actually ran in that through the ice and the snow, and it held up well. So likely not going to be the option for winter running or wet weather running, but great option for the spring or summer when you want that nice, smooth feel. Now, compared to the other shoes, 880, that feels more cushioned. That feels like more of a max cushion shoe where if comfort is your number one priority, but you don't want something super soft. It's a chicken mirage. I'm starting to feel like they're everywhere around me. If you don't want something super soft, but you still want comfort, that's the 880. It feels like comfort was in the brief of the 880. Whereas this, the brief for the designer seemed to be versatility. Give us something that can do it all. Very similar to the Saucony Ride. So 880 is a more prescriptively comfortable shoe. It's more obviously comfortable when you step in it. This is a more versatile shoe. If I had to pick 880 versus this to do a workout, if I were gonna do strides or a speed workout, I would pick this. Right, so this has more range than a shoe like the 880. So I would think about if you're the type of athlete who wants to take your shoe to the gym, or you're gonna be doing training in it with some speed work, with some sprints, this is the one I would get versus the 880. What was the last shoe I said? Nike Pegasus. This has more comfort than the Nike Pegasus. This has more cushion in the forefoot than the Nike Pegasus. This has a smoother ride. This is overall a better package than the Nike Pegasus. It also is gonna fit a lot of people's foot better than the Nike Pegasus. Pegasus is the one to get if you just want a Nike. I don't recommend that shoe for a lot of people. There's a better option for everything that the Pegasus does. The other one I would compare it to is the Vomero. Very similar shoes. That one, again, has more comfort, similar to the New Balance 880, and that would be an interesting comparison, 880 V15 versus Nike Vomero. This is comfort in the sake of the vein of it's the absence of anything bothersome. The 880 and Vomero are both comfort where, hey, ooh, ah, boom, bop, beam, bop, bam. You're feeling comfortable because it's cushioned from the upper and you got a lot of stack underfoot. This doesn't feel like a high stack shoe, which brings me to question number 3. How does this compare to everything else on the market? And in the market right now, we see foams getting softer. Mizuno Neo said, I have to whisper when I talk about softness. We see stack heights going up. It's a stack check looking like a giraffe neck, right? We see foams getting softer. We see stack heights going up. This isn't doing either of those things, and I bet if we put it through the Stack Radar 5000 again, it will tell us that the stack is even down 1 or 2. So this doesn't feel like a lot of foam underfoot. It feels like just enough, just the right amount of foam to be comfortable, to work at a variety of paces. And I hope I don't sound like I'm gassing it up too much, because it's not God's gift to running shoe sickos. It's not the greatest shoe on earth. It's not even close to the top 5 shoe that I've tested this year, but for the brief, it's really good. And I wrote this in one of our Instagram posts the other day. By the way, go follow Supwell Running. Let me throw up the shoe card right here. Or just the card. I said the shoe card, but I wrote this on Instagram. You know that mononymical Chicago rapper? Controversial figure? He was loved by a lot, now he's hated by many, scorned, thrown out of the industry. He said in the year 2000 and, was it 5 or 8? Graduation, everything I'm not made me everything I am. And for a lot of these shoes in this category, Hoka Skyflow, Brooks Ghost Max, this thing right here, and I'm putting that in this category because it's these shoes that are designed to just do it all. Those maybe have more comfort or speed in the case of Skyflow. But everything this is not, it's a foil to the market, makes it what it is. It's a foil to the Nimbus, right? Someone steps in the Nimbus. Think about if you were going to just an Asics store and you said, I want a running shoe. They might pull out the Nimbus and the Cumulus. They say, hey, try this, the Nimbus. They give you the Nimbus first. You say, oh man, I'm coming from a pair of Stan Smiths or Vivo Barefoot XT7000. This feels like way too much cushion. This is way too big on foot. So they say, okay, try this. And this would probably be perfect. Right, so it's a foil to the Nova Blast. No, it's not as bouncy, but it also doesn't have anything disjointed to it. It also just feels so smooth and solid. And then it's a foil to the Nimbus, and we can look at the Nimbus as a representation of everything else going on in the market. And the other funny thing about the Nimbus as a representation of everything going on in the market is that it went up. It went up in price. It went up to $165. This is still $140. So same price. I can't compare it to the last version, but I would assume similar smoothness, similar slightly firmer cushion feel, and good comfort, if we define comfort as the absence of anything bothersome. So for me, when am I gonna run this? I don't know, maybe never again. I'll probably use it for walking. Maybe I'll take it out for some afternoon miles occasionally. For me personally, as a high mileage runner with the other options I have, I'm not gonna be reaching for this a whole lot. I get and as I said up there when I was lacing this up, it's good to run in something simple every once in a while, and I get my something simple miles through testing a lot of something simple shoes. So am I gonna pull this into the rotation and put 100 miles on it and do double day tests? No, I'm not, but it is a really good shoe. And for someone out there who is looking for a really good shoe and you don't wanna sort through hundreds of hours of footage on YouTube here or go down the rabbit hole, just get this. This is the anti-rabbit hole shoe. Just get this, don't watch anything else. If you want something comfortable, and you like how I described this, but you like more cushion, get the 880 or the Vomero, but this is a really good one. Big old thumbs up from me. I'll likely get some more testing and some more miles just to see how it holds up compared to some other shoes, but I like it. It's a good pick. It's not one for the shoe sickos, but it's one for everyone else out there, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this. It's a good shoe for someone like my mom. She likes the Brooks Ghost and the Tracksmith Elliott Runner, those lower to the ground shoes that have just enough cushion, great for being on your feet all day, but don't scream at you with a bunch of pillowy stacks. So I called the Glycerin 21 last year your mom's favorite daily trainer. Maybe this one is going to become your mom's new favorite daily trainer. All right, that's all I have for you today. Follow the Instagram. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Oh, by the way, one last thing I want to say. This is my unexpectedly favorite new color right here. I really like the way this thing looks. Is it Dad Drip 5000 or just clean? I don't know. It's different and it's nice. It comes together really well with the brown, the yellow, and the green. So nice job, Asics. You nailed it on this colorway too.
Bada boom, bada bang, bada refuel. So lunch here, look at this today. Coconut rice bowl with the rice and beans. Tofu that Charles made, perfectly cubed, might I add. mean, look at that thing. Then I threw half an avocado in here and some of the Trader Joe's vegan cheese. And then we got the Slug Life water bottle with some mango chili element in this thing. I'll also get some coffee going in a sec, but this will be a good refuel. Gotta stack those calories.